Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, health authorities are facing an uphill battle to stem the number of Tasmanians killed by drugs and prescription medications. More lives are being lost to unintentional overdoses than to road crashes, and advocates say action has to happen now.
Last year, Tasmania's Drug and Alcohol Council asked the public to make paper cranes. The hope was to raise awareness of drug overdoses.
If we ask people to fold cranes and if we get to 1,000, you can make a wish.
Their wish is to see overdose deaths drop to zero, but a new report from the Pennington Institute paints a tragically different picture.
It's telling us that there were 34 people that lost their lives to overdose, and what that means for us is that there are 34 families who are having to go through a really horrible time.
Between 2014 and 2018, 182 lives were lost in the state. Pharmaceutical drugs remain the leading cause of fatalities. The Pennington Institute is calling for a national prevention strategy.
Some people still think that it's street drugs, heroin and drugs like that, and they also seem to think that it is a particular type of person.
Highest rate of overdoses with opioid medicines, and that's followed by benzodiazepines, so people might know that as Valium or temazepam.
Chemists can be the first to spot the warning signs over the counter. GPs say their door is always open.
Absolutely, the first port of call is to come and talk to your GP. We have so much experience in prescribing of these medications and also helping patients reduce the dose.
Her message, don't be afraid to ask for help. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
A complex investigation has resulted in a 34-year-old Lucaston woman charged in relation to a fatal pedestrian crash at Huonville in February. Police say 26-year-old Jari Wise was struck outside Huonville High School and died at the scene. The woman has been charged with dangerous driving, driving while exceeding the prescribed alcohol limit and failing to remain at the scene of a crash. She's set to face Hobart Magistrates Court in October. And 5 people accused of murdering a Burnie man have appeared via video link in Hobart's Supreme Court. It's alleged the 4 men and 1 woman used a range of weapons to fatally assault the 23-year-old in March. The matter, which is still waiting on forensic results, has been adjourned to October 12. Travellers arriving into Tasmania in for a major shock with a raft of new airport safety measures coming into effect. The Health Minister says these measures aren't just short-term, but an indefinite reality.
A COVID safety simulation.
Thank you.
24 hours ahead of the real thing.
All people coming to Tasmania will be screened.
Launceston Airport staff familiarising themselves with the new health measures. Every traveller coming through the arrival lounge will face screening and a temperature check.
If they have symptoms or if they have a temperature, they're offered a COVID test.
Yep, so you require a test, they come through this way.
The new steps all part of the state government's ongoing COVID-free ambition, but the Health Minister concedes while the virus lingers across the country, this is the new normal long term.
I would expect that we will continue to have some kind of screening process going forward.
After today's crash course on the new safety measures, airport workers will need the information to sink in fast. A flight from Melbourne is due to arrive first thing tomorrow. And as federal government MPs continue to take potshots at Tasmania's border closure, the state government is standing firm with its plan to reopen on December 1.
I will always put Tasmanians' welfare before that of any other decision.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
Forecasters are warning more wind is on the way after a weekend of wild weather. Gusts of around 100 kilometres an hour were recorded around Hobart yesterday, leaving some homes around Kingston with a clean-up headache today.
We will see the winds pick up again on Wednesday. They won't get to quite the same level that they did on Sunday, but it will be a windy day.
Inland parts of the state are also being told to brace for frost tonight. And with wild, wet and windy weather on the way, parts of Tasmania are expected to see a delayed start to the bushfire season. The Bushfire and Natural Hazards Research Centre reports there's normal potential for fires starting in the east and southeast over the next 2 months, following heavier spring rains. But in the southwest, a La Nina is expected to cause drier than usual conditions. Across Australia, it's going to be a very different looking fire season in the past 2 years, with only Queensland expected to see above average fire potential. Tasmanian schools are gearing up to test an expanded program designed to better track students' progress at the start of their education. It's hoped the initiative will also boost the state's literacy rates through a new way of learning.
This may look like a colourful game, but these young students are learning. Here at Devonport Primary School, the interactive world of phonics has been long tested.
We've had some really great phonics programs in our early childhood area this is our 4th year in that new vein, I guess, and certainly really successfully done.
The teaching method designed to help students improve their literacy skills. Now here at Devonport, it's one of 35 Tasmanian schools to take part in an expanded phonics pilot program starting next month. Aimed at Year 1 students, the trial will help further develop the learning tool.
That ability to decode words, sound out words, blend letters together. It's so important that our kids learn from the very beginning.
A very, very big component of a balanced literacy program and the building blocks for kids to enjoy reading and writing in their life, really.
It's hoped phonics will also allow teachers to keep a closer eye on students' progress as individuals and statewide.
Today's launch will help us with making sure that our data is kept really well and making sure, I guess, that we're on track with the development that we need for our students in the area of phonics.
A fantastic opportunity for those schools involved so we can collect the data and then see how we can use phonics instruction and intervene to support our 100% literacy objective for Tasmanian.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
A vivid new exhibition is giving audiences a historic snapshot into Tasmania's wilderness. Launceston's QV Mag is hosting the display, which features more than 50 rare images from 15 photographers, dating back as far as 1863. The senior curator believes these photos paved the way for the state's conservation movement.
Without documenting and photographing these places, a very large number of people would not have known what was out there.
The exhibit is now open to the public. After a tough pandemic, one mental health group says its annual push for Tasmanians to reach out to their mates is more vital than ever. Speak Up, Stay Chatty's joint initiative with Banjo's seeing 50 cents from every large coffee sold throughout September donated to mental health services and awareness.
It's a new normal for everyone, and not everyone's fighting battles that we know nothing about. Grab a coffee with each other and really check in, and really don't be afraid to sit down and ask the tough questions such as, is everything going all right and how are you travelling?
The 6th annual fundraiser is aiming to reach $35,000.
And following all of the action from the weekend's TSL games, let's take a look now at the RACT Insurance Player of the Year after round 8. And we begin with Wednesday night's Northern Derby. Jackson Callow's efforts helped him earn 3 votes for North Lonnie. While in the weekend's games, Ben Camrick's whopping 35 disposals saw him awarded the 3 votes. Lauderdale's Phil Bellchambers was best on ground in the side's win over North Hobart. And Jay Blackberry pipped Dylan Riley in Launceston's big win over Kingborough. And that leaves Launceston's Joby Harper on top with 11 votes. Teammate Riley trails on 8. Jackson Callow and Kieran Lovell are on 7. Josh McGuinness 5. Still on the Blues, Dylan Riley says you couldn't have asked for a better performance in the side's 16-goal drubbing of the Tigers. Riley's 8-goal tally was his best so far in TSL football. Riley is now an incredible 10 goals clear on the Hudson medal count after producing this huge haul.
And Dylan Riley has kicked 8.
The most goals kicked by any player in a game so far this season. Even more impressive that the conditions didn't suit him.
Personally, I don't really like the wind and the rain too much, but, you know, you've got to take each day as it comes.
The 27-year-old was aided by the return of Mitch Thorpe, who kicked 3 of his own.
It takes a few defenders away from me. He just sets us up really well.
The day wasn't perfect. Veteran Tim Bristow's back on the sidelines with hamstring problems, but snapping 2 losses to Clarence and North Launceston has the side primed for Glenorchy.
You look back at last year as well, we dropped 1 game against North Hobart, so it was a bit similar to then. The boys just wanted to bounce back really well.
At the tribunal, Lauderdale's Sam Burge is set to miss at least 2 games for striking Bailey Walker. Glenorchy's Mitch Rainbird will also miss 2 for this dangerous tackle on Ethan Jackson. Tyler Martin can accept a reprimand for tripping Hugh Williams. Meanwhile, Mystic Journey is coming home after another poor performance on the weekend. Racing Victoria stewards say the mare's plans for the Spring Carnival are now being reconsidered. The Adam Trinder trained horse finished 10th in the Memsie Stakes and 8th in the PB Lawrence Stakes. Symonds Plains is officially off for 2020. The supercar season will finish at Bathurst in October, just the 3rd time in 60 years Mount Panorama will host the final round. A September doubleheader has also been confirmed for Tailem Bend in South Australia. And in the NPL, Glenorchy Knights have closed the gap on Devonport after beating Launceston City 3-0. The Knights' defence has conceded just 7 goals in 7 matches, the 2nd best record in the league.
The defence has been superb. We had a rough start in round 1 at Kingborough, me personally as well, but we've bounced back really well.
Devonport's draw with Kingborough means just 4 points separates the top 2 sides.
Good evening. Close to average temperatures over the northeast today, but cooler than normal elsewhere. Hobart 12, Launceston 14, Burnie and Devonport 13. St Helens 14 today, Friendly Beach is a high of 13. 12 the maximum for most other centres here on the map. Grove 10, Mount Reid recorded the low of -3. A few showers contained in the southwesterly airstream which brought that cold, unstable cloud pattern over us today. Now that patch of air is also over the Bight and parts of South Australia and Victoria. The next cold front approaches Western Australia. Some convective cloud over the top end. Tomorrow the high crosses over New South Wales towards the Tasman Sea. The cold front to the west tracks over the Bight. Winds should turn around to be more northwesterly, reaching 20 to 30 knots over the west and south, 10 to 15 knots over the inland lakes. Strong wind warning, that's on from southeast Cape to Sandy Cape, and we have a frost warning for most districts, so a cold start for the first day of spring. And the forecast indicates that, just 3 overnight for Hobart, partly cloudy, 14 tomorrow, a top of 12 for Adventure Bay, Tarraleah -2 to a high of 9. Launceston a top of 12 after a negative start, 12 for Devonport as well, becoming cloudy for Bridport, a high of 12. Burnie, early frost, a possible shower later, 12 the top, 12 for Strawn and 12 for Marrawar with showers in the west. A top of 13 for St Helens and partly cloudy, same for Swansea, partly cloudy for Whitemark on Flinders Island and 12 degrees. Wednesday, fine and sunny over the northeast, but showers developing for the west, central and north. Showers over the north and west on Thursday, extending statewide for a period during the afternoon, and on Friday, showers easing in the afternoon. Showers for Perth tomorrow, a sunny 20 in Adelaide, sunny weather too for Canberra, fine but partly cloudy for Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane. Bit of cloud around here as well. Hobart 8 degrees along with Launceston, Devonport clear and 7. Kim, very important day tomorrow. It marks 3 months before the start of summer.
Wonderful. I thought you said it's going to be your birthday, but it's not. That's coming up in October, I believe. That's all your news for now. I'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us this Monday. Good night.